Well, guys and girls, yeah, poor old Kato hasn't been driven for about 4 weeks, and every time I walk past him he keeps looking at me as if to say, so when are you going to fix me? That misfire was those plugs, just one of those plugs. I'll show you in a minute. Is got a bit of water ingress and is oxidized, and just a bad connection, and obviously that throws the engine out because it relies on sensors. There are 3 sensors here, and one of them is not feeding back, so hence you're having this timing issue on that bank of cylinders, which is all over the place where this one's running correctly. So, and I use this little timing strobe light just to quickly diagnose that fault, as I showed you in a previous video. So simple fix, hasn't cost anything, just a little bit of time and a bit of common sense really. So I'll show you what I found and how I'm going to fix it. It's real simple. So there are in fact 3 of these plugs. You see one there, one there, one there. And this is the one that controls that bank, the front bank of cylinders. And when I pull the plug on it, anyway, as you see, when I pull it, it's a bit oxidized in, and look at that. That's a bit shocking really, isn't it? Now, it was a bit remiss of me not to pack that with grease. So when I put it back, I'm going to absolutely pack it with grease. So I'm going to clean it all up with a wire brush, and obviously the female in there as well. Look at the oxidization in there. So check that it's all okay, make sure it's all working, and then I'm going to pack it full of grease, and then it shouldn't get water in it anymore. So, or you could put a rubber boot over it and seal it in. I mean, there's things like that you can do. So I'm sure other people will come up with better systems, but grease is pretty good. I mean, it keeps the water out, and you can pop the plug whenever you want, should you need to. Although in theory, you shouldn't. So I'll show you what I've done later on. So what I've done on this is put in some, cleaned it all out, obviously, and scraped it with a screwdriver. And then I put in some copper ease, which is like a copper conducting grease on the contacts there. And if I just rub off the excess there, then it won't bridge, you know. And now I'm going to just pack it full of grease, and I've tested it and it works fine. So ideally I'm going to try and find another one of those plugs which should be easy enough to get. It's probably Fiat or something like that. So, and then just resolder it, because I think this one's a bit had it actually, to be honest. So there we go. Okay, so there it is, packed with grease. It's not pretty, but it will do the job. And in this damp climate, I think you need to almost treat these cars like if they were boats, where you kind of waterproof everything. So that goes back in there, and then I snap that little clip across, which I can't do one-handed, and then I shall do all of these as well, and that's it. Okay guys, so I've packed these 3 sensor plugs with grease and cleaned up the contacts and everything, and hopefully that should waterproof them and keep all the dust out and keep the damp out really. Yeah, they should be fine. I'm going to try and find some new ones and resolder some new ones in, because I think these probably, the plating on the contacts is probably eroded away a bit. So anyway, at least it's a bit better now, and hopefully we won't have any more problems. As you can see, this car gets used a lot. All the time, in fact, gets driven hard, and so it's showing that use in a country that's kind of gets quite a lot of bad weather as well. But let's see if it all works. and it's now come off the cold start valve and is idling nice and steady. A lot better. So problem solved. There you go. Thank you very much for watching. There's a nice little diagnosis for you. All the best.